Okay, well, we're rolling. Hi, Virgo. That's you. This is Tarot Lumination. This is your April 2018 mini general report. It's just a broad spectrum spiritual type reading. Spirit perspective, journey of the heart spread is what we're going to use here. And, you know, if you've watched these before, watch your sun, moon, and rising. That's what people do. Reinterpret to suit you. I'll give you a tarot illumination perspective. And I've had to give everybody a little bit of overview with the charts recently because some of the angles are very, very stressful. So I just want to give you a heads up. So mark your calendar, March 31st, okay, coming straight into April, massive full moon here, a very, very stressful full moon for everybody. It's not hitting you head on in any way, shape, or form, so you kind of get off lucky, frankly. There's a lot of heavy, intense, very strong Capricorn energy here. The Mars Saturn thing is very, very no nonsense. Do not F with me. Very militaristic, like Gestapo type energy. You know, do not mess with me regarding these issues of significant relationship dynamics, wherever this lies in your chart. So let me give you the dates. Okay, March 31st. And then you've got the new moon Aries, April 15th. And then you've got this awkward thing, April 21st, moon in Cancer. Okay, for everybody, but you might, again, scoot through this nicely. Then right at the end of the month, April 29th, it's the Taurus Scorpio energy, which is going to be much more comfortable for you, actually quite supportive. So we'll see how that goes. Let me just give me a moment here. I want to like retwiddle this. The thing is, dear Virgos, you might be kind of suffering like serious aftershock right now or a massive hangover coming out of March because of March being the opposition energy to you, where there was a real huge cluster of Pisces energy piled up in what would be your seventh house here. If this is the hypothetical Virgo here. And simultaneously, all that Capricorn energy, which is very supportive of you, is piled up in your, you know, your fifth house here of love, relationship, and romance, and fun, and excitement, and being happy. But it's in very, very hard square with the Libra Aries axis. So if you feel like you got a bit of a hangover right now, or you're coming out of it, and it's been really, really stressful, that would be understandable, okay? And the same thing here. Um, uh, there's a lot of pressure up here in your eighth house of intimacy, new beginnings there, you know, joint finances, what happens inside the depths of a relationship once you're actually in a relationship. And then over here, we've got this for, I know this is all upside down, but I'm just trying to give you at least a slight visual. This awkward thing, I wouldn't stress this too much. You might feel it in terms of love and romance here. This will be a little bit more gentle for you and light relief by the end of the month. So anyway, I just wanted to give you those heads ups, all right? Just mark the calendar moments and pay very close attention around those dates and the few days leading up, okay? That's all I'm suggesting. So cards are well shuffled in advance. You know the routine. Watch your sun, moon, and rising. No jumpers, no excuse me. I have to live by example here. No jumpers, no flyers, no oracles, no reversals. Sorry. I know some of you love those things. I don't dig it. Sorry. And we're going to do a journey to the heart spread. Cards are well shuffled in advance. I want to keep going. Give me a moment. I need to feel very clear. All right, here we go. Please invite your angels to watch with you, share with you, and support you in this, okay? Because that's what I do, because I have to. If I don't, oh my gosh. All right, here we go. Bless this reading. Here's the heart energy, core heart of you. The heart knows what it needs, knows what it wants. And it's up to you, dear Virgo, the conscious, waking, egoic self, to listen, okay? A lot of the times we don't do that. Over here, legacy energy. This might be the energy of who knows what. Maybe you're having a really whoopee time right now and you evolved dramatically under that tremendous Pisces pressure. If not, and you're dealing with like a could be like a major aftershock or hangover. You know, maybe it's something like that. We don't know. Over here is the ever-present now. This is you, like, you know, hypothetically in your optimal state where there is no time, there is no past, there's no future, there's only the now. And it is in the now where you hold all your power. Thank you very much. No apologies. And you execute your power through the healing power of your decisions over here. So literally your heart is pulsing, 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 pumping nutrients, squirting out toxins, getting rid of all the stuff, pumping it into the waste system so that you can live on another day, another heartbeat, another breath. So how are we going to do that effectively? That nurtures the heart, you loving yourself to the optimal, which is the best for the whole planet. No apologies. Thank you very much. Over here, the energy of consequence, if we do this, like set it in motion and actually treat it as a formula, as a process, as your duty to yourself. Now, what happens, of course, you know, if we were perfect beings, we wouldn't probably even be here. We'd probably be back up in heaven as angels or something. But while we're here, we're constantly in ebb and flow between our strength and our weakness. So what happens if you mess up? Even with your best intentions and you still think you're sort of vaguely in the now, it's still possible to mess up. Oh no. Well, the same thing. What if you do a good job? Oh yeah. What does that look like? Over here, prospects and momentum. Okay, so there is the heart shape. I hope you can see that. And this is the heart at the very core. I hope you can see that. Pumping, pumping, pumping. And we're going to look at the weather in just a moment. And you're going to make the best of it. Virgo, you have the Six of Swords here. So if you're not moving on already, if you are stuck in perhaps hangover mode or aftershock or, you know, literally feeling, oh my gosh, what am I going to do now? It's a strong indication that it is time to gather your resources, your wits, and move on. It's okay to do that. It's very important to keep things in motion. You don't want to get stuck wallowing in any kind of aftershocks or hangover type things. Things move on. Just basically, it's an indication, hey, Virgo, grab what works and keep going, move on. We got to keep the journey going. Only the only things that count are what works right now and having a very clear, refined, purified mind and attitude and belief system. Okay, let's have a look. Heart core pulsing energy. Okay, well, with the High Priestess here, to me it feels like, some people wrote in and said this is the Virgo card. Is that for real? I don't know. I don't really do that. So you can reinterpret later if you want. But right now, my feeling here is this is a really, really good time now for you, because in some ways, a little bit like Sagittarius, you're getting clear passage, okay, through this particular month. It's an extremely challenging month with some of these angles, the Aries, Libra, Capricorn thing, but you're not getting absolute direct hits. So in some way, you're very, very lucky. And maybe your heart is telling you very discreetly, very gently, dear Virgo, please, 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 let's take advantage of this moment. We don't get this chance very often. Please, please listen to the little whisper that I'm sending you, okay? I'm not trying to fool you or trick you. It's just that sometimes the heart is very, very delicate and needs to be understood that it is a highly, highly sensitive, highly powerful, highly delicate machine that literally does what it has to do to stay alive. It keeps you alive. And it's, in a way, it's a bizarre mystery how this all works. The human body, the human physical body, very much a Virgoan thing. The understanding of the physical mechanics and the workings of the body and our health and our well-being. It is a mind-boggling thing. We have made so many advances in the last 100 years, more than whatever happened in the first 200,000 years of humanity. And now we're coming to realize that it's still a profound mystery how this all works. Like, it's almost like the more they dig into the human body and understand health and humanity, the more baffling and mysterious and amazing it becomes. And my feeling here is that your heart is literally saying that to you. Please understand, Virgo, that it's okay. you're not here to figure out what is the mystery of my heart. How does it exactly work? How the nerve system works here? No, it's just to be very glad that you're even alive at all. Just focus on what you have to focus on and leave the rest to be the mystery that it is, because we're always going to be figuring out stuff to go on. In other words, the heart to me, it says it's just like, just love yourself, Virgo. Just love me. You don't have to turn it into, you don't have to be like a 3 day a week yoga pretzel master. You don't have to do the triple downward doggy thing or whatever it is. You don't have to speak Sanskrit. You don't have to belong to any kind of, anything. You just have to be you, and in the most simple, pure, refined, loving way possible, and very honest and true, in a very, very humble way, and just be that, and let the rest be a mystery. You don't have to have absolute understanding of everything all the time. What about the legacy? Okay, with the King of Wands here, my feeling is that in some ways you kind of understand what I was just talking about here, Virgo, but also knowing that you don't really get it and you don't have to. So you're putting on a really, really brave face, like gulp kind of energy. With the King of Wands here, it feels to me like, I don't know how I got through that March stuff. I have no idea what happened. I'm still like dealing with the aftershocks, the hangover, but my heart is still pulsing. This is absolutely amazing. I must be doing something amazing. I must be amazing. I don't know how or why, but I must be, because I'm still here. Look, look, I can see myself in the mirror. I am amazing. I'm still here. This is quite wonderful. Wow. Forget about the gender. That's amazing. And sometimes that's all you need to know, is like just to remind you, like, you are an amazing phenomenon. Okay, Virgo, just to be alive, just to be here on this planet, living through this thing that we're doing even here now on this show. I mean, think about what happens when we're doing these little videos, how it connects to the internet, how it all goes around the planet, how you get feelings of healing from this kind of stuff, and how I love conveying this to you. It's all an amazing freakoid mystery. And it's just like, yes, that's pretty cool. And so it's almost like you're rising up to this without having to feel like you have to know it all. You're just like living it, a living example of someone who is doing a really good job of having dealt with some very, very challenging situations, to the point where the Ten of Pentacles in the energy presence of now is an indication. It's just like, in a very humble, modest Virgoan type way, you could quite happily lock yourself in the bathroom, look at yourself and go, you know what? I did pretty well. I can't believe I'm actually upright. I can hardly believe that I'm even alive at all. In fact, I've got this and this and this and this. In fact, I'm loaded. I'm so lucky. I'm so wealthy. I'm so happy. I'm so blessed. Okay, I've got a lot of problems too, but the fact that I'm even alive to tell the story is quite something, and I can share my story with the rest of the world. That is quite something, Virgo. So I'm hoping that if you do have tales to tell, you could share them with us here on the channel in your comments or something. Because it looks like if you can get through this, if you can get through what happened in March, then you must be doing something right. Okay? So about your decisions. Okay. With the Four of Wands here, I don't want to get into love and relationships, okay? My feeling here is to, when it comes to being in the present, in the now, realize that sometimes it's a good thing to realize that you're with your people. One of the things that really, really counts and resonates to equal happiness, let's say it's from a very blunt learning experience that happens here right at the end of March, coming into April, where you realize one of the best things you can do is to liberate the other. You know, if you love someone, set them free, and live and let live, under intense pressure to live and let live, and how relationships unfold, where in such a way, even though this is not a relationship reading, my feeling is to realize that you are part of something wonderful. I think I'm going to really stretch it here with the reading. To me, it feels like I'm very glad that you are here, Virgo, hanging out with Terra Lumination Love Tribe, sharing everything that you've got with us in case you have some awesome stories that you want to share. And then kind of making it a formal bond where when you make your decisions, you realize it is a group effort. You can't fully evolve to be your most awesome you without significant others or without being with people who love you and share with you. And they know that too. And so it's very important to put yourself in that environment where it's almost like where you belong. Like, it doesn't matter how modest, it's the energy of realizing how incredibly lucky you are, and then finding others who resonate at that level, and then formalizing the bonds. Like, you know what? It's like that Terra Illumination Love Tribe energy, and then tapping into it and optimizing it. So how do we do that effectively? Okay, it's kind of by this realization, even if you need someone else to remind you, it's like the whole point of being live is to be happy, to love and be loved, okay? And it starts from within. You have to own it from within. And we all need support and help in that way. So when you're making these decisions and listening to your heart, understanding that there's a lot that you don't know at any one time and never ever will know, and that doesn't matter. I know that you'd like to be on top of things, Virgo, and have everything just lined up so that everything kind of works. It already does, okay? So the point is to like make the best of that because you've got so much going on here. You've survived through possible hell and come out the other side and share that with, like, tell us what it's like. And like, it feels to me like this is a chance for you to shine as a living example of someone who's lived through the wars and come back again. And now you have the chance to show that you can own your own happiness from the inside out and live it by example so that your own happiness is not contingent upon anyone else or anything else out there and outside of you. And that's very hard to understand for other people. But if you have found out a formula and a way to do that, and you become a living example, it would be very, very good to continue to live by example so that you radiate that. So it's almost like you become that high priestess. You become that mystical, magical person who has this beautiful aura. Nobody quite understands what it is, but they just know. They just know that there's something about you and you're doing something. It's almost like the energy of a sorceress who has these alchemical skills to just make these wonderful things happen for yourself, and how that can be an example for others. It's very beautiful here. That's what I see. Okay, that's what I see here. I see it as very healing, a chance for you to leave behind what is not working for you and move deeper and deeper into the healing type of energies. Okay, consequently, with the tower here, yay! I see this as like ultimate healing, deep, deep, next level, ultimate soul healing here. And you have turned into some kind of magician, magical high priestess who's got some kind of secret formula. And it's just like, now I guess I'm going to have to share that with my significant others and start to become a living example. Oh dear, people are going to question me, oh dear, and I'm not going to have an exact answer. Doesn't matter. It feels like, walls are coming down, everything that, it's almost like the blowing up of paradigms that don't work, allowing the new paradigms to unfold. This is like literally like, what's that energy? What do they do when they're smashing things to make them tougher? Like when they take a sword and they go smack, 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 and they it's almost like they completely destroy the thing, and then they stuff it in cold water and they anneal it. or whatever, and it comes out stronger. In other words, it's like the total obliteration of anything and everything that's not working. But this is on steroids. Like the whole energy of Virgo is all about cleansing, refining, purifying, improving, like always improving the brew, always refining the brew, always um, improving the craft, the skill, the practice. And anything that doesn't work has to go. To me, the Tower is one of the most powerful cards regarding healing, in that it's the ultimate of everything that needs to be revealed so that it can be healed, and the total obliteration of anything that's not working. Okay, so I'm kind of happy to see this for you, Virgo. It's almost cataclysmic, the changes, because you might not be aware of your own power here. That's a little bit weird. So I'm suggesting that be very, very aware of kind of what's happening, in how fortunate, how lucky you are to be able to share this, bring this love to yourself, and then share that with your significant others and make it a public thing. Yes, it could be very disruptive for others. It could be very disruptive for you, but it's still a very beautiful thing. Now, what happens if you slip up and you just, let's say, slack off and fall back into the status quo of whatever it was like before the heavy Pisces wave came pounding on you in March? You lose. Okay, it's what happens. if you neglect that, then it ends up as very, very painful. It's almost like you go back and relive the pain of everything that you just had to endure. Now, my feeling is when you uh, like activate the healing power of love and you allow the happiness to come into you, it's a chance for healing this. It's a chance for bringing all this, whatever is very deeply painful inside of your heart, that it's time to let that come to the surface. To me, this is almost like an alarm bell. Like when you're doing things right, it brings to the surface everything moving on from here, coming out of March, everything that needs to be healed. And it brings it out to the surface for the healing. I'm not going to turn this into a love and relationship reading. I don't see that, okay? All I'm suggesting is that if there's any kind of deep pain, heartache that has been hidden, lost, confused, misunderstood, buried, not even aware that it's there, it feels to me like by loving yourself in the way that we've described here and allowing these cataclysmic changes to happen from the inside out, even to the point where it's a mystery, you're a mystery to yourself, but you still have the courage to realize how lucky you are, and you let the story unfold. When you do it, when you neglect to do it properly, and you just, let's say, like, I'm kind of repeating myself, when you neglect the process, the formula, then this is what you get. Okay, this is what you get. A lot of ouch deep in the heart core center of you, and that's the last thing you need. So when you exercise the healing power of your decisions and you allow tumultuous cataclysmic changes to happen, then this gets exposed as what needs the healing. And this is what comes to the surface for the healing, which is of course very good for you. Now, I'm not going to explain how that works because that's part of the mystery here. That can only be figured out by you living this, okay? You being the living example. Where does this take things? Okay? To me, it takes things to the point where you start to realize that, my gosh, it might have taken you a very long time to realize, and you only figured it out perhaps in March, that a lot of the pain and suffering that you have endured, perhaps in a way that was expressed like this, in some ways it was or is inevitable simply because of like the natural human ability to like maintain our egoic status of what we think is right for us, and then having to continue to prove that to ourselves, rather than allowing the evolution to occur. And now it is time to realize the futility of trying to, let's say, fight nature. Nature is way bigger than we are, way bigger than you, Virgo. And even if you don't understand it all, the whole idea of surrendering to the great mystery of it all is going to be very healing for you. revealing what needs to be healed. Understand that, oh my gosh, in some ways, all along, without harming yourself or others, like how you end up being the cause of your own self-undoing. We all are to some extent, but I think it's just going to become very vivid over this time period. It doesn't mean that this is how it's going to be. It doesn't mean you're going to end up in futile conflict, irresolvable lose-lose situations. What I feel is that it's more about the realization of how we can tie ourselves into these situations unwittingly, and it doesn't have to be that way, because it feels like everything's going to blow up and change anyway. All right. You don't have to know the outcome here. You don't have to know the answers. Allow the mystery to unfold. Okay. I'll just put this over here. Some of these things cannot be solved through the intellect. Okay. Just have to live through and let it unfold. Let the mystery unfold. All right. Thank you so much. I went a bit long there. I'm sorry. Sorry, Virgo. Please enjoy. Thank you for visiting Tarot Illumination. Bye-bye.